more than human, and the heat was more than hungry, and the cars were square and spitting diesel fumes. The bulls were running wild because they're big and mean and sacred, and the children were playing cricket with no shoes. The next morning we woke up, man, with the 7-hour drive. Well, there we were stuck in Port Blair, where boats break and children stay. And there were so many fewer questions when stars were still just the hose to heaven. And there were so many fewer questions when stars were still just the hose to heaven. Disembarking from the port with no mistakes of any sort, moving south, the engine running smooth. Officials were quite friendly once we drowned them with our sweet talk, and we bribed them with our cigarettes and booze. The next morning we woke up, man, with the sunrise to the right, moving back north to Port Blair, where boats break and children stay. And there were so many fewer questions when stars were still just the hose to heaven. Yes, and there were so many fewer questions when stars were still just the hose to heaven. Too bad he became a prisoner of his own past. He stabbed a moment in the back with the round thumb tack that held up the list of things he gotta do. It's really no good. He's moving on before he understood. He shot the future in the foot with every step it took, and from the places that it did, cause he forgot to look. Better staple it together and call it bad weather. 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 Well, I guess you could say that he don't even know where to begin, cause he looked both ways, but he was so afraid, digging deeper to the ditch every chance he missed and the mess he made. Cause hate is such a strong word, and every brick he laid a mistake. They say that his walls are getting taller, this world is getting smaller. Better staple it together and call it bad weather. 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 It's really too bad he became a prisoner of his own past. He stabbed a moment in the back with the round thumb tack that held up the list of things he gotta do. It's really no good. He's moving on before he understood. He shot the future in the foot with every step it took, or from the places that it did, cause he forgot to look. You better staple it together and call it bad weather. 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 take you and I'll make you all mine. I will steal you from this patient world, let it chase us, it could never take you back. We could watch it from the clouds, we can't stop it anyhow, it's not ours. We could watch it from the clouds, we can't stop it anyhow, it's not ours. It's not ours. And I know you know me well enough to know I'm lucky to have you. But oh, it's just the little things, the words that I should tell you all the time. Like you're so sweet to me when you beat me in double solitaire. You're so sweet to me in a world that's not always fair. We could watch it from the clouds, we can't stop it anyhow, it's not ours. We could watch it from the clouds, we can't stop it anyhow, it's not ours. The more love that you feel, the more your little heart will ache. Love's the only thing that carries on. It's the only thing this world can't take. This love is ours. This love is ours. This love is This love is Oh, you're such a pretty thing. I'll take you and I'll make
Say yeah. One night in town, my niggas round, throwing money, them bitches hit the ground, then bring it back up, she bring it back up, put them in that black truck, so many hoes they lapped up, my niggas leaning, Diddy boppin', let's get it poppin', I said let's get it poppin', just look at how she drop it, Lil' mama certified pro, she need her own show, slide on down that pole and grind slow, hell no I ain't countin' my dough, I came to blow it all, and get some brains, trying to find Miss Know-It-All, and I got my cup filled, you see how them bucks peel, young pimp, see I grab me up and chicken just chill. In the back of the club, with a stack full of dubs, drop it low, like a pro, bring it back, that's what's up, all my dogs, up in here, plus his hoes, everywhere, niggas stunt like you don't care, throw that money in the air, and say yeah, throw that money in one hand, and say yeah, throw that money in the air, and say yeah, throw that money in one hand, and say yeah, throw that money in the air, and say yeah, I'm high and drunk doing my same dance, they call it Pocahontas, doing that rain dance, talking dope I got it, so make it rain man, cause the flow retarded, sorta like that rain man, borderline insane man, look at all these dames, damn, when a nigga getting money, and I'm a changed man, you smell that haze scent, know my game plan, tryna get it smacking, I ain't with that game plan, Lil' mama work for every dollar, she drop it low, pop it slow, stop and go, lots of smoke, we keep them rolling up, shorty mad, she came with you, she won't roll with us, in the club, with a stack full of dubs, drop it low, like a pro, bring it back, that's what's up, all my dogs, up in here, plus his hoes, everywhere, niggas stunt like you don't care, throw that money in the air, and say yeah, throw that money in one hand, and say yeah, throw that money in the air, and say yeah, throw that money in one hand, and say yeah, throw that money in the air, and say yeah, 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 I said, listen here, I do it grande, all day, smoking on that bomb hate. And I got my cup filled, you see how them bucks peel, young pimp. See, I grab me up and chicken just chill.
In the back of the club with a stack full of dub, drop it low like a pro, bring it back, that's what's up. All my dogs up in here, plus his hoes everywhere. Niggas stunt like you don't care. Throw that money in the air and say yeah. Throw that money in one hand and say yeah. Throw that money in the air and say yeah. Throw that money in one hand and say yeah. Throw that money in the air and say yeah. Throw that money in one hand and say yeah. Throw that money in the air and say yeah. Throw that money in one hand and say yeah. Throw that money in the air and say yeah. Throw that money in one hand and say yeah. Throw that money in the air and say yeah.